Welcome to Crystal Uncorked. I'm your host, Crystal Vilkaitis, and I'm all about keeping business real, raw, and refreshingly honest. From the peaks to the valleys, we'll explore my journey and the inspiring stories of remarkable women entrepreneurs just like you. Together, we'll uncover the heart of business, embrace vulnerability, and evolve, celebrating the power and success of women in business. I am thrilled and honored you're here. Cheers! Hello, welcome to another episode of Crystal Uncorked. I'm Crystal Vilkaitis, and today we are celebrating. I have a glass of sparkling rosé. If you're watching this, you can see it looks very pretty because I received an email last night that I made the Northern Colorado's 40 under 40 list. So cheers. I say it kind of funny because I've always wanted to win something like this, the 30 under 30 or the 40 under 40. I don't know why. I just have always wanted to win one of these awards. I am somebody who is very motivated by winning awards. And I don't win more awards very often. Like there's really not opportunities for me to win awards. And I've talked about this before on my social media where I watch award shows and I will just cry. I won't even know the person. I won't have seen what they were in or heard their song. And I'm just crying because I love seeing people win. And I love seeing people like go after their dreams and reach that milestone. And so I'm excited that I am a part of this group of people. And something that's kind of neat is the awards ceremony for it just happens to be while my mom and aunt are in town from Iowa. And so they'll get to come with me. So that will be a lot of fun. So cheers. I'm going to take a sip. And, you know, there's been so much that's been happening that, like, I feel like my life and my business is moving at rapid speeds, and it's exhilarating and exciting and a little exhausting. And there's so much going on. And I wanted to talk today about a couple of things that came up at a past two shows that I did, because I think it's really relatable to a lot of my listeners here on CU. And that is about our fear of really showing up on social media because we're afraid of people judging us, or we're afraid of them putting mean comments or like bullying. So we just aren't doing social, or we're really holding back on doing it because of those reasons. And then also just holding ourselves back because we just are like, it takes too much time and I'm not going to commit to it. And I love speaking in person because I have the opportunity to see people's faces as I talk. And I can really pick up on what they're resonating with, when they feel discomfort, when they feel excited, when they feel inspired. And a couple of weeks ago, I was in Vegas and I was speaking at Super Zoo, which is a conference for pet store owners and groomers. And I was actually sharing the stage with Lynn, who's in the pet industry too. She doesn't just work with pet stores, but retailers. And if you go to Super Zoo, you've seen Lynn there for like the past 15 years or something. She's always a speaker. And Super Zoo kind of likes to put us together because we'll bounce ideas back and forth with each other. We have different perspectives. And so during this session, I was giving part of my Shine Online talk where I just talk about the mindset, like what holds us back from being on social media. And Lynn asked the audience, like, hey, we want to hear from 3 people. Like, what holds you back? And the first woman said, judgment. You know, she has a nonprofit for adopting animals. And recently she went live and there was somebody who left this long comment about how she shouldn't make the video all about her and just was mean in this comment. And so she's being held back because of those comments. And after we were done talking, I talked to another couple off the stage who had the same thing. They were like, we're really afraid of posting because people are really passionate in the pet industry and they really will like tear us apart if we believe something and they don't. And so we're afraid to post. And the feedback that I gave, and if you feel this way, this is why I wanted to talk about it, because I think that a lot of businesses are missing out on growing their business because of fears of this exact reason. And the thing is there's a good chance there's going to be a bully. There's a good chance there's going to be a mean comment or a comment that disagrees with you. And, I'm all for disagreeing. I just hate when people are so mean or rude or bully, they're bullies about it. But this is social media and people have a lot of confidence behind the keyboard and it just happens. And depending on your industry, it happens more than other industries. And in the pet industry, it does happen more often than in the gift industry. But the thing that's happening is if this adoption center decides I'm not going to post videos because this one person left a bad comment, that adoption center is holding themselves back from showing up for the hundreds, if not thousands, of potential pet parents out there that are just so wanting an addition to their family and to adopt an animal. And why would we let this bully hold back us from connecting to that person? And we do it because it's more comfortable. It's more comfortable because we don't put ourselves in that position to be ridiculed, to be called names, whatever it is. And I get that. There's a lot of risk when we put ourselves out there. I have a lot of content on social media. And there are some videos on YouTube where people are really mean to me. And I did a video like years ago about hashtags. And people were doing hashtag dumb blonde, hashtag dumb bitch on my video about how to use hashtags to help your content stand out. And for some reason, I'm a dumb blonde and I'm a dumb bitch. But then some of the other comments were like, finally, I get hashtags. Thank you. This was so useful. Like I had total opposite examples. And just side note for me, if anybody is cussing or bullying and like name calling, I remove it and report it. I don't tolerate that kind of behavior on my social. But if you disagree with me, then that's fine. I'll keep it. Like, not everybody's going to like me. Not everybody's going to like what I have to say. So, but the thing is if I read those comments, this happened years ago, and I will tell you, it was hard for me to read them. And then I had somebody on my team go through all of them and just remove them if they were name calling or cussing, because I couldn't bring myself to read them all, even though majority of the comments were nice. And this video, I think at this point now has almost like 100,000 views on it. Like it went viral. There are a lot of comments. But if I just listen to those few people who are really, really mean for no reason, who don't even know me, but whatever. If I just listen to those people and stop making content like 8 years ago, you and I would not be here right now. I would have not helped the thousands of retailers that I have helped over all these years if I listened to the mean people calling me a dumb blonde and dumb bitch on my hashtag video. I mean, the impact that I have made is significant. We hear it from our retailers all the time. I have an incredible team that if I let those comments impact me and I stop doing what I'm doing, I wouldn't have this company. I wouldn't have my team. My team wouldn't be producing the results. I mean, I think that I would be a server at Chili's for the rest of my life because honestly, I loved waiting tables. It was a lot of fun. And I wouldn't be able to put content online out of fear of what people would say about me. So I briefly told this woman, the adoption center, that, you're really holding yourself back from the people who do want to hear you. And usually it's a lot less people than it's a lot less who are mean than nice, right? And then recently I heard this great quote from Dan Kennedy, who's like kind of a pioneer in the marketing space. If you want to learn marketing, like listen or read any of Dan Kennedy's books, he's pretty smart. And he said, if you haven't offended somebody by noon each day, you aren't marketing hard enough. And I want you to think about that for a second. Because if we're not pissing somebody off every day, then we're not reaching enough people. Because majority of people are going to love what you're saying. They're going to resonate, and there's going to be the 1% or whatever that doesn't. that feels so inclined to let you know about it. And if we're not getting any kind of feedback, then we're probably not showing up enough. I also heard something about that in the PR world years ago. Like, if nobody's talking bad about you, you're not doing a good enough job. Like, it's true. It's very similar to what Dan Kennedy is saying. I also was at a conference last week in Denver at the Gaylord, where we host our event, and it was a podcast conference. And the speaker was so good. He was so funny. And he said, you want to repel audiences with your shows, but this really can relate to marketing, any kind of marketing, not just podcast shows. You want to repel audiences. He said, if you have 10% of people that love you and 90% of people that hate you, you've won. You have a group of people that love you, that will listen to every episode, that will engage, that will go to your events, that will participate. And it's easier when they know like where they belong. And so that's where it's important for you to know, like, what do I stand for? What don't I stand for? Who is my audience? Who's not my audience? And he showed a picture of, the Joe Rogan audience, and Joe Rogan has built this massive show, being very true to himself, standing up for what he believes in. Imagine if Joe Rogan was like, ooh, people are too mean, I'm going to stop doing this. He gets crucified for every episode by a lot of people because he's reaching a lot more people. So we get so paralyzed by the judgment of others and here's what I find people doing. We'll hold ourselves back because we're afraid of that judgment or those mean comments, but it hasn't even become a problem yet. So we're holding ourselves back for a potential problem that might not even become a problem. I mean, it's crazy to me that we do that to ourselves, and I am guilty. I will be like, oh, I don't want to do that because what if blah, 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 blah. Well, it hasn't happened yet. So why don't you try it? Is this a real problem? Do we really know that this is even going to be a thing? You just don't know until you're in it and you're doing it and you're learning from it and you experience it. And it's just part of the gig when it comes to creating this content. And I just feel like it's too important for the businesses, especially small businesses, to not show up. And we live in a time, I say this all the time, between Rooted in Retail, my other podcast, and when I'm on stages and on this show, that the consumer has so many choices. And if they're not learning who you are, and if they're not building a relationship with you, you will not exist. It's just how it is. Like, you have to be building your relationship, and you could do that in a lot of different ways. And social media isn't the only way to do that. There's a lot of ways you can do it. Social is one of the easier and better ways because you can get in front of your perfect customer and they can get to know you through these videos. But there are certainly other ways that you can do it. Now, last week, I was in Reno speaking to another group of people, like paint your own pottery types, studios. And I had a packed session where I was talking about Reels and TikToks, short form marketing. And I was talking about showing up every day. And I was observing everybody's faces, and they were not having it. I could just sense like the whole energy of the room was like, oh, nope. And one woman straight up, like, eye roll, not having it. And I'm like, okay, I want to call out something that I know that's happening right now. A lot of us are thinking, I do not have time for this. How in the world can I balance everything I'm doing and put myself out there every single day? This girl has lost her mind. Like, I could see it. So I addressed it. And I said, the thing is that I think that we can all find 5 minutes a day to show up for our customers. And the thing is that we get the opportunity to use social to connect with our customers, not we have to. You get to. This is an opportunity. We've never seen marketing like this before. The ability to build relationships through videos and pictures, no matter where somebody is in the world, and have them come in and meet us in real life and come to our events and shop with us and bring in their kids and their grandkids and their friends and really connect on deeper levels. Like, social allows for that to happen. Podcasting allows for that to happen. YouTube allows for that to happen. These elements where we have the video based and we build the relationship and the connection. So I talk a lot about this in my sessions too, that we get the opportunity. We get to use social media, not we have to. It's a mindset change. I call bullshit. I think that every single person can find 15 minutes a day to post on social and to connect with their audience. They could do a post feed. They could do a couple of stories. I think that they can do that. Today, this is my 5th podcast recording. I was a guest on a show this morning, and we filmed 2 episodes for that. So there's 2 episodes. Then I interviewed a guest, and it took over an hour because we had some tech issues, and you're doing the back and forth. And then I was trying to do the intro, and I was like messing up on my intro. I've never done so bad on an intro before. I had 7 takes, and finally I had to stop because my next interview was in 10 minutes. I had to change my outfit, reapply my makeup and my lipstick, get my questions ready, be centered, and do all that in 10 minutes. I was freaking out. And then you have to sit down and really be there and be present for the host or for the guest. I can't be freaking out. I need to make them feel comfortable. I need to really show up for them and be present while I'm like, holy shit, I've been back to back to back. I feel like if it could go wrong today, it has. It's just one of those days. I messed up. Now you're going to focus on it if you're watching this video. I just butchered my eyebrows. So they bothered me all day, and I've had so many videos to do. Tech not working, dropping things, being clumsy. There's just so many things that are happening today. So I film those, and then I have to go directly into filming this, because if I don't film this, there's not an episode next week. So I've got to be filming. And the thing is through all of this, I also took both of my dogs for a walk, and I had to get ready, and I answered a bunch of emails, and I'm helping because I have an employee who's out. So I have to help out in other ways that I don't normally. And it's been a really fucking busy day for me, if I'm being honest. This sparkling champagne is fabulous to be celebrating the 40 under 40. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. And the champagne is needed because it's been a hard day. I was like, yay, I'm filming See You tonight, and I'm going to drink. It's just been a hard day. But you know what? I found time to create a reel because we announced another keynote speaker today, which I'm so insanely excited about. Her name is Jen Gottlieb. Maybe you saw me announce this, but Jen is one of the world's top motivational speakers. She's dynamite. My retailers and small businesses in the room at Evolve, I have a conference called Evolve. People coming to this are going to love Jen. It's going to be epic. I had to get the news out. So I had to create a reel. There was some editing, and I had to make sure okay, what points do I want to hit? I made the reel in between all of this today. And then I did another post about winning this award. And I found, and all of that took me maybe 10 minutes. I call bullshit that we can't find 15 minutes a day to connect with our audience on social media. It's just, it's not a priority. So it feels like overwhelm, but you haven't made it a priority, and you're not thinking about it in the sense that I get to connect on social. I get to connect. I'm having people on my phone who are blowing up right now. I see, yay, congrats. I'm getting all these messages on social. I had a retailer who I know is coming to Evolve be like, this is so exciting about Jen being there. I love hearing from my audience. This connects us. So we have to reframe it. We have to think differently, and we have to not let the fear of judgment hold us back. So whether it's judgment or time, I want to erase that. Moving forward, that is not how we are thinking about our social media. We have to show up because we get to, and we're going to do it afraid, and we're going to do it even if people don't like us, because like Dan Kennedy said, I have to read this again because I think it's so good. If you haven't offended somebody by noon each day, you aren't marketing hard enough. It's kind of a fun exercise to think about. What would it look like for you? What would your marketing look like for you if you offended somebody by noon every day? And obviously you're not purposely trying to offend. You're just you're standing your ground. This is what we stand for. This is who we are. This is how we're showing up authentically ourselves, like it or not. This is what we're doing. How would you show up differently? How would you show up more? Would you show up on other platforms? Would you just show up in the first place? Like, what would you do? You got to show up. There's too many choices. I don't want you to become irrelevant. I don't want you to become lost, left behind because of fear or I don't have the time. The people who make the time, the people who have the right mindset, they will stay in business. And that is my soapbox for today. So like it or not, that's how it is. I hope that this helped you. If there's anybody who's hiding on social who has those things that hold them back, time or judgment, send them to this episode. Send them to this episode. Remember, it is my 5th podcast, so my brain's not working as well. And I really do. I really want to help people understand the positive sides of social media. Oh, this is the last thing I'm going to say. One of my interviews today, Kristen Lenz, who has White Arrows Home, her episode is going to come out in November on Rooted in Retail. Man, this woman has built such a strong social media following. She gets over 3 million views a month on Pinterest. She's on YouTube, or actually, I don't know if she's on YouTube, but she is on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, obviously Pinterest. And she has over 47,000 people that follow her on Instagram. And I asked her the question, how has social media built your brand and how critical is it? And she was like, it's essential. It's essential. So think about that. We get the opportunity. It is essential for us to show up. You have to leverage it. You have to be there. And your customers want to hear from you. And I think now more than ever, it's essential. And I think we're going to see people drop. I think the opportunities are just there for people to jump on. Kristen started her business 3 years ago. She's crushing it, had no retail background, but she gets marketing and she gets the power of relationship building. And she knows that social media is a tool to build relationships. That's why she's been really successful in a short period of time. No retail experience. It's pretty phenomenal what she's built. If you are a retailer, you're going to have to listen to her episode. It's pretty inspiring. She's just an amazing woman. And that's what I have to say today. So I hope that you found it interesting, helpful, and I would love to hear from you. If you have a question or topic you would like me to talk about on the show as it relates to, it could be marketing, social media, it could be courage, confidence, getting clarity, operating a business, running, having a team, running a remote-based business, whatever, just throw it at me. I'll see if I can help support you. Send in those questions. The best way to do it is DM me on Instagram. I'm Crystal Vilkaitis, and I would love to connect with you there no matter what. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Cheers. Go have a glass of something if you need it, like I did today. It doesn't have to be alcohol, but cheers to you. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next See You. Bye.